Welcome to Repair Setup. In this video tutorial we will do an example setting up a new Diagnose visit for a technician. We will first present activities your admin does, then what actual technician sees and does. For small companies, admin and technician may be the same person. You can open our demo at demo.repairsetup.com and try everything you see in this video by yourself. Link to the demo is in the description down below. First, let's see our active services or orders and see if there is anything new. Click on Services in the left menu. There is one new service from insurer AHS. Let's click on it. Service Details opens. We covered service in more detail in New Order from Insurer video. The link to that video is in the description below. First, let's call the client and try make an appointment. The client button will show the name and primary telephone number. So let's make a phone call. We need to pick appropriate date and time for the visit. Let's go straight to Events pane and click on the briefcase button to create a new visit. The system prepares what it can for the visit. Sets its name, type, and appliance being worked on. We need to set the date and time, and the actual technician who is going to make the diagnose. Let's click on the Dispatch button. Here we see all work schedule for given technician. Admin/technician in our case. We see his workload through the week. Also we can see other technician workload and decide which technician will take this diagnose. We see that technician 1 schedule fits best, so let's leave it. Drag the visit from the upper left corner somewhere on the calendar, where we want to schedule it. Let's say the 19th of February at 12 p.m. Now go back to the visit. As you can see, the system has already filled the selected date and technician as technician 1 for this visit, based on the dispatch we just made. Before saving it, let's add simple instruction to the technician. And save. Let's go back to the service. In Events pane, we see that we now have a visit for the 19th of February at 12 p.m. and a technician is technician 1. Looking at Insurer pane, we see that we need to collect $75 service fee. Let's add that into the visit instructions. Go to Visit Instructions pane. Add the instruction text. Now let's click on the Save Instruction button to update the last visit instructions. Note that instruction is now added to the visit. Next, let's change the status of this service to Waiting for Diagnose and remove its important flag. And save. We are ready with admin part. Now let's see what technician sees. For one-man show companies, admin and technician may be the same person, so he will be able to see all documents and all the details. For the purposes of this tutorial, we will show how regular technician employee will see the system. Let's switch to technician view. Click on the person button in the upper right corner and select technician 1. Now we see the system, as technician 1 will see it. Technician opens his work plan. By default, present day the 19th of February opens and shows all visits for the day. Let's select work plan for tomorrow. Click on Tomorrow button. There are 4 visits, and their locations on the map. We see that our visit at 12 p.m. is among these. Now technician may wish to reorder his visits in the allowed arrival window interval. Click on the Bus button. Work plan edit mode opens. At the top we see all visits for the selected date. You can click on a visit in order to see its details and decide if you want it reordered. Let's click on the last completion and review it. Technician decides that it is complex 1, so wants to leave it as last task for the day. Let's drag it to the right and make it last one. Visit order on the map changes accordingly. When ready, click on the Save button. Let's go back to the work plan. We see that work plan has updated. Technician can click on the Parts tab in order to see what parts will be needed for each visit of the day. Now, let's pretend that technician is already on the address for Diagnose. Opens the visit from work plan. First, let's mark the visit as started. Go to the status pane, and click on the press to start visit. Then save the visit. This will allow admin to track progress of each visit, without additional communication by the phone. Now technician collects the service fee, makes the diagnose, and decides what parts are needed. Let's add one part. Go to the parts pane, and click on the gear button. Now part details are needed. Let's add part name, part number, and quantity. When ready, click on the Save button. In Parts pane, we see the new part is added. Now that diagnose is finished, let's mark this visit as ended. Go to the Status pane again, and click on the Press to end visit. Also, while at it, let's upload one photo of the part. Click on the Photos tab above. Click on Add button. File selection dialog appears on desktop computer. It will be different on a smartphone or tablet, depending on its brand and model. Nevertheless, we will be able to select a photo for upload. Photo preview will appear, along with some options. We can select which appliance this photo refers to. Some additional notes. Retention period. For next 6 months, or forever. And if we want to optimize its size for less usage on your photo quota, or store it in its original size. Usually this is needed if there is small text on the photo that needs to be readable. When ready, click on the lower right button to upload the photos. Then switch to Visit tab to save visit changes. Now that technician has finished with this visit, let's switch back to admin view. Click on the person button in the upper right corner and select admin/technician. Next, let's click on the services. We see that the service our technician just was has important flag. This means that this service needs admin attention because technician added parts to the diagnose. Click on that service. Now we see its details. In Insurer pane, we can mark the service fee as collected with check and check number. We also can select different means of collection, or if not collected. Looking at Parts pane, we see the part our technician added, so we need to process it. Click on the part and see its name and part number. Try looking at your part suppliers and make part order and fill back the supply price. You can also change the markup for this part. The system will calculate any taxes and the final price. Once ready, let's change the service status to waiting for parts and remove important flag. Finally, let's save. Also, we will make new invoice for the service fee only, as this is what the client will pay initially. If the service doesn't have service fee, this invoice can be omitted. Go to Events pane. Click on the New Invoice button. Invoice Details opens. The system has already filled Info pane, invoice number, its effective date, and invoice type. In Money pane, service fee is already filled in with the service fee details. In Parts pane, there is part we need for the service. We don't want to invoice it now, so let's remove it. In Labor pane, there is default labor for this insurer. We don't want to invoice it now, so let's remove it. When ready, click on Open button to see preview of the invoice. If you need this in printed form or in PDF file, you can click on Print or Download buttons. Let's save the invoice, so click on the Save button. Now let's go back to the service to assure everything is right. Service Details opens. Go to Events pane, and we see that the visit and the invoice are there. This concludes Diagnose visit tutorial. We will continue in another video with parts delivery and completion visit. Thank you for watching, and don't miss other repair setup video tutorials.